Now, characterization might not seem such an important point, but it is, particularly when you're looking at character-based stories and the way that characters shape a story. So they are a very important consideration for critical analysis, and by analysing how a character is portrayed, you're better able to discuss and to analyse their motives and purpose. Now, characters and stories are constructed in a certain way. They are constructed in a way which is basically meant to create meaning for the audience. It's not the same as describing a character and what they do. So not saying he's evil. You're writing about how they are portrayed. So he is portrayed as evil because of the fact that he's dressed in black. All right, that gives a little bit more than just simply describing a character and saying he wears black all the time. Well, what does that mean? Is it because he's at a funeral, or is it because he's evil? So by actually describing their motives and purpose, and by linking that to the characterization and the mannerisms and all the things that a character does, you're able to analyze them a lot better. Now, characterization can also be indicated through basically the voice of the narrator. So the narrator themselves can be a character and something that's definitely worth interpreting when you look at it. But more importantly, if you're looking at any other character, or if you're looking at a story which is written in the third person, then particularly description and dialogue are key elements of characterization, which particularly not only can you be critical about them and analyze what they contribute to our connection to that character and how they are portrayed and how we are meant to feel about them, but it gives you some sort of validity to the character's role and their purposes within the story and what you believe a certain character does. So let's look at it this way. When you watch a film, for instance, and I know a lot more of you probably watch films than read books, then some people would look at a character and go, I really like that character because of the fact that he does this and it's really cool. Whereas someone else might go, well, I don't really like him because he has that really annoying voice and it grates on me a bit. And it's pretty much the same sort of thing when you look at it this way. So how does the way that a character portrayed indicate their role within the story? Is it something that's likable, or is it one of those things that, as your friend might do in this case, is not likable? Now, obviously, you're not testing whether or not a character is likable in the story, but you are testing their role. And their role isn't set in stone either. It's one of those things that you can interpret, and you can sort of say what their actual role is in the story. You can say that a villain is the hero of the story. It might take a little bit of work. It would take a lot of work, in fact, and it might be very, very hard to argue and justify. It may be a very weak argument, but you can still do it. And that's one of the beauties of the English language, is that you can actually interpret things in completely your own way, provided that you have enough evidence to prove it. And that's one of the tough things about it, is not only do you have to sort of say what you think about that character, you have to prove why that's the case. Okay, now you can indicate a character and their mannerisms through dialogue, so the way they talk, the way they speak, descriptions of them. So an author or a filmmaker will choose to describe a character in a certain way, so you're made almost to feel about them in a certain way. A character's role, whether they are the hero, or they are the antagonist, or they are the comic foil who always gets sort of caught up in the middle and is the fall guy in a lot of cases. Their relationships, so how they get on with other people. Change in narration, so if there are more than one character, or if it's a story with a first-person narrator, does the narration change as that character changes? As that person's opinion on life becomes different? It might be language techniques and their effect on the appearance of that character. So if you describe a beautiful person in an ugly way, why is that done? What does that change about that person? So, or that character for that matter. So there are lots of different things there, which again can be interpreted.